Right, welcome to our restorative yoga practice today. We're going to start on our mat here and just sit up nice and tall. Find yourself some comfortable space. And we'll start by just crossing the ankles here. Roll shoulders up, back, and down. And then lift up through the top of the head. Just close the eyes. Take a deep breath in through the nose. And then a full breath out, nice and long. Just allow yourself to settle and just become present on your mat here. Push the shoulders back. Feel the top of the head lifting. And as you breathe out, I want you to just let go of any rush, any stress, anything that you don't need while you're here on your mat. I want you to find a nice neutral space where you're just very much in your body. Let the top of the head go over to the right and feel the left side of the neck lengthen. And then let the top of the head go up and over to the other side. And then let the right side of the neck lengthen. You're just trying to relax your shoulders, release tension, and slow your breath. And then top of the head comes up. You're going to roll shoulders up, back, and down. Just keep lifting up through the chest. Then we're going to take your hand behind and just take a gentle twist, turning to the right. Lift up through the collarbones and twist from just below the belly button. Maybe look over your back shoulder. And then let's come over through the center. Take a full breath here, just letting everything neutralize. And then turn to the other side. Just a little twist for the low back. Come back to center, roll shoulders up, back, and down. Let's take the arms overhead, breathe in, fill up. Exhale, let the arms come down, nice and gentle. Just being in control of you and your breath, your body and movement, and all your concentration. If you'd like to, go ahead and close the eyes here. Nice big breath in, arms rise. Reach long through fingertips, keep the neck long, and then exhale, arms down. Do that one more time. Take the arms up overhead, and this time let's interlace our fingers. Point your first finger and then arch over to the side so that your shoulders are right over the hips. Press down through this. For me, it's my left side here. And then come up through the center. Let's go over to the other side. Belly pulls in, and then we arch over to the side. Just waking up and warming your middle a bit here. Let's come up, bring the hands behind, interlace. Now press palms together, draw your shoulders back, and open your heart. Let's gently turn your chest to the right. And then gently turn towards the left. And then come back to center, relax your arms, roll shoulders. Let's take a nice couple of slow circles of the arm, letting the palm face away from you. It faces in, and then when it goes overhead, turn the palm away from you. Nice slow circle. Again, nice big breath. And then turn. Let's do the other side. Take that nice big circle. If you need to, put a little bend in your elbow. I just want you to be really gentle with your shoulders. Our shoulders and upper back can hold a lot of tension for us. And especially if you sleep funny, your shoulder or neck can give you some tension or pain. So I just want you to go really slowly here. Being really easy with the body. And then take both arms up overhead. Big breath in. Let's arch over to the side. Right hand down, left arm stretches long. Bow your ribs out to the side. Make some space and try to almost expand the ribs and lungs here. Big breath in. Imagine there's a balloon and you're kind of blowing it out this way. And then let's go up. Inhale. And then exhale to the side. Just bow the ribs out to the side. And then take our arms up overhead. One more time. Now reach up and out with your hands. Let your chin face down. And then just come down as far as feels good. Right where you feel the edge of the stretch. That's where I want you to stop. Low back is long. And then we'll walk our hands over to the side. So we start to stretch into the back, the low back, and kind of make some space as our ribs, our torso we're trying to reach out of our hips here. Kind of feel like you're lifting up and out through your torso. And let's go over to the other side. And then feel free here to just spend a little time just kind of going side to side, taking your time gently, stretching back through the opposite hip. And then come right to center. Nice big breath in, lift up through collarbones, and then take your chest forward. Breathe out, let your chin tuck in, and then root down through your seat. So I'm going to use my palms here to press into the ground and make sure that my seat is still grounded, but I'm also getting that nice length as my chest reaches forward, drawing belly in and up. Imagine the length of your spine just stretching out long. Draw your belly in and let's roll up really slowly. Let's take the feet out wide, bending the knees here. We're going to draw the belly in, and then just take your hand inside of your right ankle. Take your left arm up, open up. So this hand inside the leg, it's going to give you a little twist, a little sensation in that low back, but I'm also starting to help you open up the hips. I got some requests for hip openers this week, so that's what we're going to bring a little attention to, a little awareness. So I want you to think length from the tail, the belly button right up through the top of the head, and then open up right across your collarbones here. And then come up, and we're just going to go over the other side. Inside of your left leg, open up. So this all turned. You're twisting from just below the belly button. You get all that nice opening, and then take the arm up to the sky. Keeping the knees bent, it's just more gentle. You're not having to get a long leg or a long hamstring here. Just targeting the low back, starting to get some space in the hips. And then come back with me right into the center, soles of the feet together here, inbound angle. Now I want you to bring your feet a little bit further from you and just relax your legs here. So I want you to relax all those muscles in the upper part of the leg. I don't want you to force down, because if you force down here, then this is going to want to lift. So I want this to be really relaxed, legs relaxed, and then the chest lift. Remember, draw belly button in, lift up right through the center, and then come forward any amount. And then feel free to just kind of go side to side. Notice which side of your low back is feeling the most. Kind of stretch here. Because it's all connected, so if you've got some tightness in the hips, you might have some tightness in your low back. So I'm just trying to get you a little pre-stretch here. And then coming up slowly, go ahead and extend your right leg, bring your left foot in, sit up tall, and we're going to come forward right over the foot here in the center, starting to get a gentle stretch into the inside of this right leg. Just feel length again from tailbone through the top of the head. And then come on up. We're going to just go switch the leg. Left leg is long. You're flexing the foot. And as you take your chest forward and down, you'll likely feel the inside of this leg. So again, just a little pre-stretch for those hips. Be really easy with yourself. You're going to get the best stretch, and you're going to find the most space by being gentle with yourself. If we force the stretch, we're less likely to get space, because then your body is going to react and just tighten up for you. So you want to just find the edge of the stretch and just focus on breathing and not focusing on the space or the stretch. is as you just focus on breath in and out. Your body relaxes. Those muscles unwind for you. And then let's roll up really slowly, coming onto your hands and knees here for me. Getting your wrists under your shoulders, so that way your arms are going to support you, and then your knees are going to be right underneath your hips here. When you get there, move side to side. Large muscles in the low back and the outsides of your hips are going to feel the sensation here. So if you've been doing any walking, running, dancing, cycling, those are all those muscles you're going to feel. So just kind of move hips in a little kind of half circle. You go back towards the back corner of your mat and then come slightly forward and then back towards the other corner of your mat. We're starting to stretch the outside of your large glute muscles here. Now let's start to do a little cat and cow, so it's flexing and extending your spine. We're going to tuck our toes and come into a downward dog. Hips up nice and high. And I want you to go ahead and pedal those feet, pressing one heel down, then the other. Letting the arms plug into your torso, not forcing any back bend here. Make sure the arms are right next to your ears. We'll pull the belly in, stretch those inner thighs back. Now let's walk hands and feet towards each other. You're going to turn sideways on your mat here. That way we can come into a wide straddle again. A nice way to get a forward fold, a little more gentle for the legs. Make sure those toes are slightly turned inward. And we fold, let the head hang. Just kind of relax the arms. Turn the head to say yes and no. We're going to walk our hands over to the right. And then stretch your left hip away. We're breathing in and out of the nose. We go nice and slowly in restorative yoga because I want you to get enough time to get into the space, have some breath, have some patience for your body. And then go over to the other side. Right over to your left leg, and then again, you're pressing your right hip away so that you get a long line from the shoulder all the way down through the hip. You're also getting that space inside of either leg here as you root down to the outside of your feet. And then go ahead and come down here with me. We're going to bend the knees, kind of squeeze the backs of the hamstrings, and then straighten up the legs and fold. You can do that a couple of times here. So as you come here, I want you to feel those hamstrings squeeze, kind of your feet pressing into the mat. And then as you exhale, straighten the legs, and maybe you come down a little bit more. Let's maybe take your hands through and reach to the opposite side of your mat. Making sure the top of your head is pointed down. Let those heels be really light. So for some of us, we'll need to move our hips slightly forward, making sure that the heels are light. You're getting space in the backs of the legs. And then we'll walk our hands over to the top of your mat and step back again into our down dog. Pedal your feet. Now you can put your knees down to get here. I'm going to go ahead and take the right leg outside of my hands. Lower the back knee here. And then come on down to a lizard pose. So we can start right here nice and high. If you've got blocks, you can put your elbows on your blocks here. You're just coming down as much as feels good. Hands are inside of your leg. The more the leg presses out, the more you're getting that good pre-stretch. And I want you to take your arm up to the sky. So turn towards the leg, open up. We need some space in the back. So give yourself that space. Press this knee away from you, maybe lifting the arch of your foot here. We'll bring our hand down again. We're gonna tuck our back toes and then shift. Your front leg is going to be the straight leg. That was the one that was just in front of us. Lift your toes, and now we're inside of this new bent leg. So hips are pressing back. You're getting inner thigh space here. Again, a little pre-stretch. Let's walk your hands back to your front foot and step back into your downward dog. Take your time, just so that we can do the other side. A little bend in the knees, step your left foot out, lower your back knee, take your time. And just make sure that this knee isn't going past your ankle. And then press that knee out as we come into a low lizard or a high lizard. We'll come in and out of this pose so that we get lots of space, we get lots of practice. You don't have to practice all of the poses in one day. It's really great to just kind of pick a few and then just make sure that you're understanding how you're linking them. So today we're just focusing on that hip space, low back, low belly. All the large muscles are housed there, right in the center of the body. And then we're going to twist towards the leg. Take the arm up to the sky, draw the belly in. As you draw your shoulder back, again, take that twist from just below your belly button here. Only go as far as feels good. If you want that hand on the leg, that totally works too. Just feel this hip kind of moving down towards the mat. It's giving you a hip flexor stretch. And then we're opening up. And then we'll bring our hand down inside the leg. We'll do just as we did on the other side. I'm going to turn my back to you just for a moment, not to confuse you. Tuck your back toes and then shift back. Now this leg is the one that was in front. The knee is up, the toe is up, and then my hands are inside of my bent knee on this sit so you can see. So this knee is bent and I'm up on the toes, pressing the hips back, getting this inner thigh stretch here. And then carefully make your way back into your downward dog. So we get those inner thighs to stretch back towards the back of the room or towards the back of the mat. And start to pedal the feet, pressing the heels down, getting some space for the calves. Let's lower your knees. Go ahead and come onto your belly. Hands under your shoulders. Gently lift your heart. Squeezing the low back muscles, squeezing those glute muscles. I'm just going to help contract them so that they'll release for us in a little bit. So again, nice big breath in, lift the heart, squeeze, and then exhale, lower. One more time, nice big breath in. And then we'll shift back slowly to child's pose. So pull the belly in here so that you're coming to a nice neutral space. And then child's pose, again, we're focusing on hips, so knees are wide, big toes together. And I want you to just kind of move side to side here. Allow the elbows to soften so that your chest and shoulders can open up naturally. And just focus on the hips going back towards your heels. Let's walk our hands over to your right. And then walk the hands over to the left. We'll come back here, right to the center. Stretch nice and long, fingertips out, arms plugging in. And then come up slowly, take the ankles out to the side, Coming into a gentler frog pose. So I'm going to turn to the side so that my knees stay on the mat here. You're going to make sure that your ankle and your knee are in line with each other. Feet are flexed, and then you come down and push the hips back for more stretch. Come forward for less stretch. So just kind of exhale, hips back. And then inhale, coming out of the stretch. So just go really easy with yourself here. Maybe you can ease into a deeper stretch by bringing those knees out a little further. One more time, big breath, shift forward, and then exhale, shift back. And then we'll carefully bring your feet in closer to each other, bring the knees in closer. We're gonna rest in child's pose again. Just a little bit of space there, knees are wide, reach out long. Come up slowly. Let's face the front of your mat. And again, take your left foot forward so we come into our lizard pose. So maybe we've got a little more space here. Left foot out in front of you. Turn your toes out for more space. Now maybe you can come a little bit deeper into your stretch. And if not, that's okay. But if when you come down here, you feel like you're rounded, I want you to come right back up. Or maybe even just put your hands on or forearms on pillows. The point here is to come low onto those forearms, but keep the integrity. Keep the chest nice and open and your upper back long. If it suits you, you can take that hand underneath, get a little stretch there. Maybe even kind of getting the back of your arm underneath the leg. If you can press the back of your arm here into the back of your leg, kind of into your hamstring, gets you a little bit lower so you're using it as leverage, getting that stretch here. So let's take one more breath. And then come up nice and tall. Make sure the leg is right in front of you now so that your knee is right in line with your hip. We're going to reach back with your left arm, take a nice twist. Bring your hand to your leg so you can sit up tall. Now hand outside of the leg, twisting, reaching long through the fingertips. This is helping to open up that hip flexor. You're getting a little bit more stretch into the outside of your hip here. We'll bring our hands down. Now we're going to tuck our back leg behind your front ankle. So you can sit just like this, or extend that leg nice and long, sit up tall. Now wrap the arm around your knee. Hug the leg in so we're still getting some space outside of the hip. And then open up to the other side. And then if you're not already, go ahead and straighten this leg. I want you to bring that left leg into your arms. And maybe you just hold it just like this, kind of moving the upper leg bone in the hip socket, or you can cradle the shin and the foot kind of like a baby. Just kind of move side to side, getting that good stretch. You want to think about lengthening up through the torso, and then hugging this leg in, stretching right here. Again, option, just hold it right here. Just get some space. Maybe move the leg out to the side, and then over to the other side. I want you to feel this upper leg bone moving in the hip socket in all the directions. And then we're going to go ahead and come into a modified half lotus. Your left leg is going to be on top of the right. Your shins parallel to each other as much as you're able. And then maybe your ankle comes all the way to your knee. Mine doesn't particularly do that. But if you're here and this leg is really lifted, you can put a block right here, or even just put that leg in front. So we're going to sit up tall. We're focusing on the outside of this hip. We're going to sit up and then come forward. Feel the outside of that hip stretch. Whew. Nice big breath in. Good breath out. And then walk your hands over to the left so that your chest is going over that left leg, intensifying that stretch. Come back to center, nice deep breath in. Good breath out. Take one more here, take your time. And then we'll sit up tall. Go ahead and pat yourself on the back with the right arm. Hold on to your elbow with your left hand. Arch over to the side so that your right side is grounded. You're getting a nice big long stretch along your whole right side ribs. Pressing your head into your forearm here, you're getting a little shoulder stretch. Come up, release shoulders. Let's relax your legs out in front of you. Take your time. Let those legs relax. Just kind of bounce the backs of your legs onto the ground here. Just letting those knees relax. And then we're going to make our way back into our downward dog. You're going to feel maybe a little bit more space on the outside of your left hip here. So press hips back. Maybe move hips right and left. Notice as you press your left heel down and press your hips over to the left a little bit, you might feel a little more space, or even down through the whole outside of the knee. And then we're going to bring our right foot forward to revisit lizard pose on this side. So turn your toes out, press the knee out, and then lower. Again, maybe you can come down to the elbows. Something that might be helpful is if you move this back knee back. But if you don't have the space there, if that's just not working for your body, I want you to be up nice and tall. And just kind of move side to side. Take your time if you are watching this and you have the ability to pause here and just kind of take as much time as you like. As much time as you need. We all have a different amount of space, tension, tightness in the different parts of our bodies. Just know that continuing to practice, not forcing it, but just practice frequently is going to give you the space that your body needs. And again, on this side, if you want to take that arm underneath, remember we push the back of the tricep kind of into the back of the leg. And that kind of gives you leverage to lengthen your spine here. Get your chest down, your shoulders back. Just keep looking down towards the ground so that your neck is long. Use the breath. We breathe in, give yourself pause, find some space, and as you breathe out, you get a little bit more release. As you let go of the breath, you tend to release pressure. And go ahead and come back up with me. Go ahead and make sure the knee is going forward, and then we're going to twist, reaching back through your fingertips. Getting some release for the spine. And then again, come down. Make sure your toes are facing forward. We're going to bring your hand outside of the leg and then twist away, using the hand outside the leg for leverage. Pulling the belly button in. Feel the stretch. You'll probably feel it from this hip right up through your side. Then bring your hands down with me. We're going to come to our seated twist. Back knee is going towards the outside of that front foot. So take your time to get there. I like to just go ahead and straighten this leg because I'm just going to focus on this leg. But if you really enjoy the twist portion of this, feel free to keep your knees all curled up and bent. You're going to wrap your arm, hug this in so we get that still pre-stretch outside of your hip. Length through your spine, and good rotation here is going to help strengthen all those muscles and have good spinal health for you. Make sure that straight leg is, the foot is flexed if you've got it out like I am. And then open up, counter twist to the other side. facing forward. Again, we're going to start to kind of, if your leg isn't already straight, go ahead and straighten it out. And you just kind of cradle the leg, starting to lift the shin up towards the chest. I'm going to turn to the side for you. There we go. So you're looking to keep length in your spine. Your chest stays lifted. Try not to round here. And then just kind of, you're manipulating the leg to move as much as feels good. So just be real easy with yourself. I want you to feel that upper leg bone moving in the hip socket. If you want to just kind of bend the knee. We're just trying to get a little range of motion here before we come again into either fire log or half modified lotus, whatever you're used to. And we'll bend our knees. And now your right leg is on top. We're going to sit up tall. So I want you to, for some of us, sometimes the ankle bone doesn't feel great into my calf, so I will put the mat between my ankle and my calf, but today it's not bothering me, so I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to sit up tall. And again, another option is just to put that foot in front of you. So as you sit up tall, you might start to feel the stretch right outside of your hip here. And then if you need more stretch, you're going to start to come forward. Stretch the outside of that right hip here. Nice deep breath in the nose. And make sure you let go of all the breath as you breathe out. We'll walk our hands over to your right. And then come back to center again. This is a good spot where you could just pause, spend as much time as you need here. Roll up to sitting. We'll pat ourselves on the back with the left hand. Hold on with your elbow and then arch over to the side. And the reason for this sequencing, this side, this leg is grounded because this one's on top. So that keeps you from lifting up through your seat. And then we'll come up, release. Let those legs shake out in front of you. Give the knees a little bit of a break. And now we're going to cross, or kind of come into your table, excuse me. So coming into table pose, I want you to actually come into a forward fold. So tuck your toes, walk your hands towards your feet, and then turn towards me so that your feet are wide. Not completely into a straddle, just more of a kind of a mid toes are out. And then have you turn those toes inward and forward fold. So somewhere between our normal forward fold where the hips or the feet are right underneath your hips, but not as wide as a straddle. Then I want you to turn those toes out. You can sit on blocks or come right down into a nice yogi squat. So as low as you can here. Press the elbows into your legs here. Those inner thighs are getting a good stretch, and you can bring your hands to your heart. So if you need to, bring your feet even wider. For some of us, our heels don't touch, and that's okay. The point is to get the inner thigh stretch. So I want you to keep a nice long back. Focus on low pelvic floor pulling in and up, belly pulled in and up towards the chest, and then your spine is long. Try not to round through your upper body. Draw your shoulders back. And this is a good place to, again, do that seated position where we sat in the beginning and just had our knees bent. I'm pushing out with the backs of my arms. And just breathe here. Hold as long as would feel comfortable to you. And then we're going to put our hands down and then straighten up the legs. Nice and slowly turn the toes in and fold. Let all the breath go. Let's do that again. Turn the toes out. Come on down, nice and slow. Lift up through the chest and notice how you push. As we push the elbows into the legs, you feel that stretch. Relax your toes if your heels are down. Low pelvic floor is pulled in and up. That way we contain all our good energy, and if you can kind of move side to side, we'll bring our hands down and then straighten up those knees again, turn the toes in and fold. So when we turn our toes in, that helps release those external hip flexors that were just kind of engaged with the toes out. And we'll walk our hands to the top of your mat. Step your feet back into downward dog. Let's again come forward into a modified plank so that we can come down to the belly. And then fold your hands. Let's bend your knees and then just sway side to side. It's going to help release your low back. Just in case you found any tension there in that yogi squat, you can rest your forehead or your cheek here. Let the legs come down, and then take your left knee, out to the side so it's like a tree pose. Your foot is inside the leg, or it's like a half frog pose. Your foot is out to the side, whatever feels better. I want you to focus on the knee going out to the side and that inner thigh stretch happening. Deep breath in and out. And then you can put your left hand under your shoulder. We're going to keep our leg right where it is. I'm going to have you take your right arm over to the left. And then we're going to open up for a twist. So take your left arm across your body. Maybe the arm is just dangling there. Just feel the release. And bring your hand back in. And then come back to laying down, sort of like in that tree pose or the half frog pose. Belly and chest are down towards the mat. And then we're going to carefully switch. That leg goes straight back behind you. Now your right leg comes out to the side. Half frog or a tree pose facing the ground. Then you'll put your right hand under your shoulder. Your left arm goes through. So you lay on the outside of your left shoulder. And then peel that right arm out to the side. Goes over to the side. We come into a lying twist. Take your time getting here. Feel that good release for your low back. And then roll back over to your belly. Let's take the legs out long behind you, bend the knees, and let your legs sway side to side. Again, just releasing any tension, letting the low back settle again. We're going to press ourselves up to a table position, and then let's finally get into a pigeon. Your knee is going to go over to the left. We've gotten all that good pre-stretch happening, so this should feel pretty good to you. You can even, if you've got a bolster or a blanket, you can put it right underneath your leg, and then your knee is outside of your shoulders. You're folding right over your shin. So I'm going to turn towards you so you can see a little better. You go ahead and fold there as comfortable, but I want your knee to be on the left side, your ankle to be on the right side, and then you fold inside. You need to stay up nice and tall. The point is to make sure the hips are squared. We're not way over here. We're also not way up here because that's not going to stretch the outside of your hip. So make sure your foot is in front of you. And the more stretch, you kind of move your back knee, kind of toe tucks, and then you can move the knee back as opposed to ever pulling on this front leg. I want you to more focus on pushing your torso back, feeling that awesome stretch outside the hip. Find some space. We're just going to spend a few minutes here. Not a few minutes, a few breaths. And instead of the hip, I want you to focus on the breath. The hip stretch will come. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Then we're going to come up through the arms first. Go ahead and shift your weight, bringing your back leg in, and then make your way carefully to a downward dog. Tuck the toes, lift the hips. You can be in down dog or in table pose here. I just want you to make some circles now with the hip. You want to take that leg over to the side, stack the hips, and let the foot go behind you. It's going to give you some space in the front of the hip flexor. Stretch that knee up to the sky. And then put the foot down. We're going to go to the other side now. Your knees come down. Your right knee is going out in front of you. So be easy with the right knee if this is your tender one. You stretch the back leg straight behind you or sit on a block. Another option, sit with both legs at 90 degrees. Sit up tall and then come on down to a fold. Let's take 2 more breaths here. And then come up slowly through the arms, pressing up. Shift yourself back into your table pose, maybe into a downward dog. Just letting the hip re-engage, make some circles. Maybe just move hips side to side. Maybe you want to go ahead and let that hip stack. Open up the hip flexor, re-engage the back of the hip. Come to your down dog, paddle out. And let's again visit our child's pose. Knees wide, big toes together to rest. Soften the elbows. We'll roll up slowly. Take your feet out from under you and let them come in front of you for a moment. Revisiting our bound angle position. Again, feet are out from you so you've got a little bit more space, not as intense for the stretch. We sit up tall and then we'll fold forward. Relax the legs. When you're ready to breathe in, roll up slowly with me. We'll take your feet out wide. Sit up tall, feet are flexed. And then you're just going to move gently side to side. Getting some space in the side waist. Maybe you've got a little bit more movement. And then we'll come forward. Taking all of that side waist length, pressing out through your heels. I want you to externally rotate the legs, so feel the inside of the leg roll up and fold. On your next in-breath, let's roll up slowly. Go ahead and take your legs out in front of you. We want to re-engage those hips for just a moment as we get our space. We also just want to make sure we've got balance, so I don't want you to feel overstretched. Your fingers are facing your backside. Your knees are bent. We're going to gently lift into a reverse tabletop. Little lift of the hips. Belly pulls in. Long line from shoulders down through your knees. And then come on down slowly. Come on down to your elbows and then all the way to your back. Take your time and hug the knees in. Give yourself a little rock side to side here. Gently let the knees go over to your right. Feel free to extend the top leg out long and then stretch long through the left palm. Nice big breath into the ribs here. Full breath out. We'll bring our knees through center and go over to the other side. Bring our knees back into your chest. Let's take one leg out to the side. If it feels good, take both legs out to the side. So you're in a seated straddle. Your feet are out long, stretching into the hamstrings and inner leg. We'll help the legs come back together, bending the knees. Hold on to the outsides of your feet if they reach and your knees are going out to the side. You can also hold on to your ankles. And then just kind of gently move side to side. Feel the low back long. Deep breath into the low belly. Full breath out. Go ahead and give your shins a nice hug. Bring your forehead towards your knees. And then relax. Take the legs out to the side. Turn your toes out. Just make yourself comfortable as we take a few moments here for Shavasana. Just letting all of the space, all the stretch, all of it just settle into your body. Breathe into the hips here, breathing in more space. And then breathing out any last bits of holding. Notice if you're holding your breath in any spaces. If you're feeling tense in any spaces, relax all those muscles of the face. Your awareness on your breath here. And notice how you find ease in your body as it just relaxes with every out breath. make some small movements with your toes, just a gentle wiggle to wake them up. And maybe let the ankles move side to side so you start to get some movement right up through the legs. Lengthen arms past the ears. Stretch your toes out, just bringing life back to all the limbs. Just very gently roll over to your side and soften your knees here and rest on your upper arm. Keep your eyes closed. Take a nice deep breath in for you. And a full breath out, just relaxing. Give yourself another breath there. And then when you're ready, go ahead and come on up to your seat with me. And feel free to keep the eyes closed. We're keeping our focus inward right here. Feel your body grounded as you come to your seat, and the top of the head lifting. Take a deep breath into your low belly. Let's bring our hands to our belly. That's where you hold all of your energy, all of your goodness, all of your patience for yourself, your acceptance of yourself, of what your body can do. So let's breathe into that patience, contentment, and acceptance. Honor that in you and share it with those you come into contact with. Share all of your goodness, all of your acceptance, all of your patience. And know as we practice this on our mat, we wish and hope to take this into the rest of your day. This yoga practice is not something we just practice in solitude, but also in your actions, in your words, and the way you relate to others. Let's take all the goodness you've gotten from your practice today, palms up, breathe in, bring your hands now to your heart. May all peaceful beings everywhere feel your joy, feel your light. Always come back to your practice. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, or if you're watching this in the replay, the rest of your week. So thank you.